Hello, my name is Mike, and my YouTube channel is It's Not Right. It's Not Right. I'm making this video today to respond to a fella named Thomas Gray who posed a question on the Grumpy Old Scale Modelers Facebook group. Does anyone have an internal exhaust booth for painting models? He asked. And I do. So I'm going to show you mine. It's very primitive, but I've had it for several years. It works well. It does have some limitations, and I'll tell you about that. So we'll start with the outside of the booth first. And this is it. It's an old box, Speed Queen dryer box. And it's approximately 30 by 30 in this direction and approximately 48 inches in this direction. Cut a hole in the back, and I put this Craftsman 16-gallon shop vac hose in the back. Now this is very primitive and very crude looking, but it does work, right? So in the front, I just hung a shop light there, and I picked this thing up at a garage sale somewhere or a flea market somewhere, and I use that for my painting stands. Okay. A couple of pieces of white paper taped to the side for reflect the light and to try out my airbrush. And on the inside, what we have is two filters and a box fan. That's a box fan in the back here. This is a 20 by 20 inch box fan. And this is a filter right here, and this filter right here is for removing odors. And then this is a regular furnace filter in the front. It's a little bigger than the box fan, both of them are. And if you'll notice, it's open in the back. It's open on the sides. So you're like, well, how do you capture the odors? How do you capture the particulate matter? Well, you can already see this. This is discolored. It should be this color. This is the original color of the pleats. So this is capturing particulates from the paint. All right? And this does capture odors, and it's not very dirty. A little bit, but not too bad. So, obviously, what I do is I turn the fan on, and then I got it unplugged, and then this will pull the filters to the fan. Airflow is in this direction to the back of the box. Okay, so my original attempts was I would turn this thing on, which is louder than all get out, and I would spray, and the fan would pull all the exhaust from the airbrush through the two filters out the back, and then would suck everything into here that was left over. And this is also filtered on the inside. It's the manufacturer's filter, so it's nothing special in there. It's just a foam cover around the motor. Now when I'm spraying acrylics, that works just fine. And I can do that. It's noisy, but it works fine. There's no odor whatsoever. I'm in the basement of my house. This is my air handler right here. And that stuff can get pulled through the house really quick if it did get out. With acrylics, that's no problem. Now I still do wear a mask at all times, whether I'm spraying enamels or lacquers or acrylics. I don't take any chances with that. But my wife complains if I'm spraying enamels or lacquers and I don't have this going right. So the limitation on this, when I'm spraying enamels or lacquers that use aromatics for their thinners and their other chemical makeup, this thing right here picks up those aromatics and ejects them into the air. It's not as bad as when it comes out of the airbrush, but it is bad. So I inadvertently found out how to avoid that when I'm spraying lacquers and enamels. If I'm spraying acrylics, I can use this. I don't have to, but I can. But here's what I found out. When I do not have this on and the fan pulls the air through, it hits the back of the box. There's nowhere for the air to go. So what does it do? It comes back. It comes back out. It comes around the sides and it comes in over the top, while the fan pulls it back into the filter. And it goes out the back and it comes out again. It swings around and it goes through the filter again. As long as I have that fan on, this is like a closed system. Nothing comes out of this box. It doesn't get out of this box. And I usually leave the fan on for airflow after I've completed painting. I'll leave my model objects up here on a stand wherever I have them, and I let them sit here and dry until I finish my modeling session. There's my primitive 1955 style table that I do all my work on, and I will go back over there and work on another portion of the model or another model. I leave this fan on. Nothing gets out of this box ever. This works really good. If this was tight and there was nowhere for the airflow to go, I don't know what would happen. I really can't answer to that. But nothing gets out of it. I can spray lacquers all day in this as long as now if I shut this fan off right after I get done spraying, those odors will escape into the house, into the basement, and get pulled through the house. But if I leave this fan on for 15 minutes to a half hour, I might smell a little bit around this work area, but it doesn't leave the basement. It doesn't go through the house. So for Thomas Gray, that's my answer. That's my solution. It works for me. It's pretty simple. It's pretty cheap. I have nothing in the box. I went to an appliance store and asked for a box. Whatever this fan costs, 20 by 20, pretty cheap. And these filters, actually these filters together probably cost more than this fan. And since we're going through the filter, it doesn't hurt the fan. The fan never gets dirty. So that's the setup that I have, and it works for me. So maybe you'll come up with something that's similar or different. I hope this answers your question. I saw you had a lot of other fellows had good suggestions on what to do, and I hope you find something that works for you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.